Marvel is a company that has created some of the most iconic and recognizable characters of all time. Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thanos, Hulk, Captain America. You can tell they're popular because they're all in Fortnite. Now, when a company has all these big name characters, it can be assumed that putting them all in the same movie will bring in what every company wants the most. Money. A whole lot of money. However, another great way to make money is to take all these characters and put them in a video game. I mean, just like a Fortnite, Epic Games makes like $1 billion a day off that thing because they put in Peter Griffin and Optimus Primal. So recently, Marvel released a brand new game called MarvelRivals, a hero shooter mostly inspired by their comics that features a bunch of their characters, both popular and obscure. Recently, the hero shooter genre has kind of been falling off, for lack of a better term. Overwatch 2 has horrid reviews on Steam, and Concord, well, you can't even play that game anymore. I bet Sony feels stupid for giving it an episode in that Amazon Prime video game show. Unlike those games though, MarvelRivals has actually been well received, which is why the game is still actually playable, unlike Concord. Because of the high praise, I decided to try it out and ended up enjoying the game quite a lot. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about MarvelRivals because I think it's a fun game and I want to talk about it. Also, a certain somebody bullied me into talking about this thing. You know who you are. Thanks for the suggestion, by the way. Like I said, MarvelRivals is a hero shooter similar to things like Overwatch or Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. For those who don't know what hero shooters are, they're games with multiple characters or heroes, each with different abilities, and your goal is to beat the enemy team at something by shooting at them. To be honest, the name of the genre is pretty self-explanatory. There are 5 modes for you to play through, with the 3 main modes being Convoy, Convergence, and Domination, and the 2 sub-modes being Conquest and Arcade, which is the only mode to change up its gameplay every once in a while. Convoy has you trying to escort something to the other side of the map. Convergence is pretty much just Convoy, but you need to move past mission areas to complete the escort, and Domination has you try to control a single mission area. Thank you for the information, MarvelRivals Wiki. These modes are pretty similar to each other for the most part, which is why I even needed to look up their differences in the first place. They mostly just consist of gathering around a certain thing while preventing the enemy team from doing the same thing. I don't really mind that these modes are nearly identical though, because thanks to the game's combat, they're really fun. To talk about the sub-modes real quick, in Conquest you just kill as many enemies as possible, and like I said, Arcade changes up its modes every once in a while. When I first started playing, the arcade mode was Jeff's Winter Splash Festival, which is pretty much just Splatoon Turf War, and the current arcade mode is something about Dr. Doom. I don't know, I haven't played it. I barely played Conquest because it kept on dying every 10 seconds due to my severe skill issue, but Jeff's Winter Splash Festival was pretty fun. You even get his cool Jeff costume for completing challenges in it. Before starting a game, you have the option to pick a hero, and all of them are unlocked from the start, which is pretty cool. It would suck if I had to work to get Jeff the Land Shark. He makes me wish sharks were real. Heroes have team-up abilities that will activate if another one of your teammates picks a hero compatible with yours, which is a nice feature. It encourages people to try out new heroes, since doing so will be beneficial to the team. Or you can beat me and just use the same 2 characters every time. The game has 3 classes of heroes, those being Vanguards, Duelists, and Strategists. Vanguards have a lot of health, Duelists do the most damage, and Strategists help teammates by healing them or making their attacks do more damage. This is all information I literally just learned after looking at the MarvelRivals wiki again, and it probably would have been helpful if I knew that information while playing the game. That might have helped with my dying every 10 seconds problem. I like MarvelRivals gameplay a lot. It's really fun and chaotic. There's a lot of variation between each hero's moveset, which is cool, and you can actually destroy plenty of objects around the place. After all, you wouldn't be a real superhero unless you do some property damage.
We saved the city!
The loading screen gives a brief explanation as to why you're fighting in the first place and where your goal is, which is a nice feature. It adds a bit more story. The game's character roster is really good as well. Like I said earlier, they don't just have all the popular characters you might know from Fortnite. They've got some more obscure characters as well, like Iron Fist, Psylocke, Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow, the Punisher, who's like a military guy or something. I don't know, that's pretty lame compared to everyone else, to be honest.
Have you tried their never-ending pasta bowl?
I pretty much just spent every game playing as either Jeff the Landshark or Squirrel Girl because they're the funniest characters in the game. You can launch an army of squirrels to attack enemies with Squirrel Girl, and Jeff can swallow enemies and throw them off the map, which is probably one of the most diabolical things you can do in this game. It makes me feel like Gru when he popped that kid's balloon whenever I do it. By the way, it took me 2 matches using Jeff to realize that his main attack just heals teammates and does absolutely no damage to enemies. Awesome. Literally the day I'm writing this, a new Dracula season started, and they added 2 members of the Fantastic Four, those being the Invisible Woman and Spaghetti Guy. Despite being in the menu, they didn't add the Rock or the Human Torch, which is weird, but I guess the Flames of Disaster would have been too overpowered to put in the game. I think they should add Figment. I know he's from the Disney parks and not a Marvel character, but he has Marvel comics, so technically he is. The game also has a tutorial character, that being Galacta, who's apparently the daughter of Galactus, somebody I only know because of Fortnite. Thank you, Jonesy. I've been referencing Fortnite a lot in this video, and I don't know why. I haven't touched that game in like 2 months. Galacta's pretty cool, I guess. I like her design, but Helpy from FNAF Ruin is still a peak tutorial character. Nobody can even come close to topping him. You can actually see the lore behind every hero, which is a nice addition. Apparently Jeff is connected to Deadpool in some way, which makes sense honestly, but why isn't he in the movies?
So Gen Z, on fleek, Sigma.
Every character has some skins because money, and the game actually tells you what comics certain skins are from, so that's cool I guess. I don't really care about it though, because I don't know the comics. My favorite skin is Incognito Jeff's skin. I love how the dolphin costume still has the barcode attached to it. I wonder if Jeff bought it himself. Do you think he knows what capitalism is? The art style is also really appealing. It's kind of like a toned down version of Into the Spider-Verse's comic book art style, which makes sense because again, this game takes a lot of inspiration from the comics. Okay, this is kind of off topic, but how does this free game look infinitely better than that new Spider-Man show? This thing looks so unappealing. It should have just been 2D. The last thing I want to talk about before ending the video is the game's monetization. You see, like most free games, Marvel Rivals has items you can spend real life money on, and the game is actually pretty generous with its monetization practices, which is not something I expected from a game owned by a Disney company. There's two currencies, those being lattices and units. Lattices cost real life money and are used to buy the epic battle pass every free-to-play multiplayer game simply needs to have, while units can be attained by completing challenges and are used to buy things like skins. Also, you can convert lattices to units, which is pretty cool. I like how you can buy skins without having to pay money like in Fortnite, and if you buy the battle pass, then you have as much time as you want to complete it, which is really cool. I wish more games did that. In conclusion, Marvel Rivals is actually a really good game. It's got fun gameplay, great visuals, and Jeff the Landshark, so 10 out of 10 I guess. Sorry that this video is so short by the way, but honestly, after spending way too long working on a 46-minute video about FNAF Into the Pit that underperformed, I needed this. I'll try to make longer videos in the future. The two coming after the next will probably be like 15 minutes long at the least, so look forward to that I guess. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go convince Marvel to give Jeff his own movie where he teams up with Bruce from Finding Nemo to save the world. Bye I guess.